everybody doing on a Saturday evening? Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Again, this is part two of the webinar series that we are conducting on US taxation as well as course presentation on the paid US preparation course that Boardless Accountant is offering. All right, so before we start, of course, let me hit the record button. All right, before we start, let us hear an opening prayer from John. Go ahead, John.
Let's put ourselves in all the presence of God, the name of your Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty Father, we thank you for this day and for bringing us all together for this webinar. Grant us wisdom, clear understanding, and open hearts as we learn and share today. Bless our speakers, organizers, and every participant. May all that we do bring glory to you and help us grow in knowledge and purpose. In Jesus' name, Amen. Dear Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
All right, thank you, John. So, again, welcome, guys. Before I officially begin, I'd like to know who amongst you guys have attended last week's webinar, or if not, have you actually watched the recording that I sent? Can I show a raise of hands if you guys don't mind? Or can I just conduct a poll? Let me go ahead and check. Hey, Emma. I'm glad that you guys can hear us on TikTok. Hi there. Uh,
Chris, are you recording now?
yes. All right. Let me conduct a poll, guys, just so I know how many of you tonight have actually uh, attended last week's webinar, or at least watched the recording. If you guys don't mind uh, answering that question. Sanjay, is Sanjay watching us from or joining us from India? How are you doing? So we got a good following in India because, as you guys know, India has thousands of enrolled agents, and India is also one hot spot where U.S. tax firms outsource tax preparation work. So it's really big in India, including bookkeeping and tax. So yeah, I'm not very surprised that we have a good following in India, and that is why we are conscious with the way we do our course now. We make it a point that we speak entirely in English so that uh, everybody can understand. So not just India, but we also have people from Africa, from South America, and even in the US. So yeah, we are doing our webinar purely in English, as well as our tax prep course entirely in English as well. And also that benefits a lot of you because that helps you guys practice English communication this early. All right, so it's 50-50. 28 people responded. You guys, if others can also answer the poll, I would greatly appreciate it. So 14 managed to watch or attend last week's webinar, and then half also amongst the attendees tonight have not watched it. If you guys have not watched it yet, the recording The recording is in the email that we sent you. If you guys would want to request a recording, we'll drop that in the chat box so you don't miss it. Okay. Um, I heard we have someone from Sri Lanka as well. In TikTok. Oh, hello there. I got several friends in Sri Lanka back when I was working in Saudi. I know we also have audience in Pakistan. Again, we are all over the world now, truly borderless, which is a really good thing. Makes me feel really good about what we do because like we're improving lives, one life at a time. Carm, if you can drop the link of the last week's webinar in the chat box because we have several, at least 21, who did not, who were not able to attend last week, but also not able to watch the recording. So we had a good discussion last week, and today again is a continuation of that discussion. Okay, and if we have time, I may even share with you an actual recording with a tax resolution client that I would hope to expound to you guys, just to make a point that there really is a great opportunity in U.S. taxation. All right, so time check, it's 7:17, so I guess we can start. Are you guys excited? Are you guys excited? Can I see a thumbs up again? Sanjay, if you can lower your hand, I think you raised it earlier when I asked about those who attended last week's webinar. For you guys who have questions later on, I would suggest that you write down your question so that you don't forget about it. And then we have a dedicated Q&A portion towards the end. Okay, so stick around because I will do my very best to answer every single question. Okay, so last week we did not manage to answer all questions because we ran out of time. But this time around, I made it a point to make the presentation shorter so that we have enough time to answer your questions. Okay? All right. So let's begin. Again, for everyone who has joined us last week, welcome back. And welcome to those who just joined us in today's webinar. It's really good to see so many familiar names again tonight. And for those who are joining us for the first time, again, welcome. Now, I know not everyone here was able to join us live last week for part one, and really that's completely okay. I made sure to send the full recording out to everyone on our list earlier this week. Actually, I did that earlier today. So check your inbox if you would want to get a copy of the recording. Uh, I used the mailing list in our website to send that email. If you did not get that email, Carm is sending that link in the chat box. So if you already watched a recording, that's great. Tonight is going to build directly on top of it. And if you haven't got into it yet, don't worry. We're going to give you a quick recap in just a moment so you're not lost. Though I'd still encourage you to go back and watch the full thing when you get the chance, since we go a lot deeper there. Tonight is part two, and I want to make this session very practical. In about 45 minutes, I'm going to go roll by roll and show you exactly where you fit into this picture. Whether you're a bookkeeper, a virtual assistant, someone switching careers entirely, or you're already preparing taxes and wondering what's next. I've built tonight is specifically around you. And I'm also going to spend real time tonight on the enrolled agent credential because I genuinely think it's one of the most underrated opportunities in this entire industry. And I want you to understand exactly why. My name is Chris Ayade. I'm a CPA and an IRS enrolled agent, and I'm the founder of Boardless Accountant. Let's get into it. Before we dive into tonight's content, let me give you a 60-second recap of what we covered in part one. Just so everyone's on the same page, whether you watched the recording we sent out or you're catching this content for the very first time right now. First, we talk about how this is a real dollar earning career that you can build entirely from home. No US degree, no CPA license required, just to get started. Second, we talk about how booming this industry is. Over 160 million individual tax returns get filed in the US every single year, and it's genuinely AI proof because someone has to sign the tax return and stand behind it. Third, we talk about the barrier to entry, and it's very low. I mean, low. All you need is something called a PTIN, a PTIN that stands for Preparer's Tax Identification Number, and a valid government ID. And you're approved to start preparing returns in a matter of weeks. And fourth, we talked about the fact that this isn't a dead end job. There is a real ladder here, from preparer to reviewer to strategist to resolution specialist and all the way up to becoming an enrolled agent. Again, we did send that full recording to everyone on our list earlier today, specifically so you could watch it so you could watch it ahead of today. So if any of this feels new to you, I'd really encourage you to go back and watch it when you get a chance because we go a lot deeper on that session than I have time for in this quick recap. But for now, that's a foundation, and tonight we will build on top of that foundation. All right, are we good? So here's exactly what we're covering in 45 minutes together tonight. I'm going to walk through 5 real career paths, starting with bookkeepers, then virtual assistants, then career switchers coming in with no background at all, then existing preparers who want to know what's next for them. Then I'm going to spend a good chunk of time specifically on the enrolled agent credential, why it matters, why it's more achievable than people think, and who can actually sit for the exam. And we'll close by mapping all of that back to you. Which door is yours and exactly what your next steps looks like. Let's get moving because I want to make sure we cover all 5 paths properly. So here's the map for tonight. 5 doors, and every single one of them leads to the same destination, a real career in US tax preparation. Door 1 is a bookkeeper, and we'll talk about how tax prep complements what you already do. Door 2 is the VA or the virtual assistant, and I'm going to make the case that tax prep might actually be an easier climb than bookkeeping was. Door 3 is a career switcher, someone with no background at all, and personal returns are your entry point. Door 4 is an existing preparer, and we'll map out your upskilling ladder in real detail. And door 5 is for everyone in this room, whether you're already in one of the other 4 doors or not, the enrolled agent credential. and why it's the single highest leverage opportunity in this profession. So as I go through each one, I want you thinking, which door is mine tonight? Or maybe, which door am I walking through next? All right, let's start with the bookkeepers. By the way, before I continue, I just like to know who amongst you here are bookkeepers, tax preparers, career switchers, maybe CPA in the Philippines wanting to venture into a more lucrative career in US tax. If you guys don't mind putting that in the chat, or I would also like to know if there is an existing tax preparer in the room already. Rogelio is a CPA. Welcome to the room, Rogelio. And I know we have someone in India. I think there are a couple of them. They're already enrolled agent, but they enrolled in the US tax prep course simply because being an enrolled agent does not mean you already are knowledgeable with tax preparation. It's a different set of training. So there are a lot of you who are CPAs. Wow. There's bookkeeper. There's someone who wants to become an EA. Ray is a career switcher. Oh, we got a good audience tonight. And this is what I failed last time when we had a good number of participants in last week's webinar. I failed to ask uh, the the audience which or what profession they are currently in. Julie V is also already a CPA and a tax preparer. Nice. Someone is doing UK accounting. Marga is a senior tax preparer aspiring to be an EA. That's very nice. I encourage you to really do so. Nika is also an aspiring EA. Kim is a VA bookkeeper and a tax prep. Nice. Sanjay is a tax consultant and advocate with 15 years experience currently into Indian tax, now going international. Nice. Leslie is a CPA and part-time bookkeeper. Rosalie is an aspiring US and Israeli bookkeeper and tax preparer. You know, I know of an Israeli US tax firm that employ a couple of former students that former two of my former students back in the university. They're working for that Israeli owned tax firm and they're paid pretty good. Career switcher from local bank, bookkeeper, senior accountant from Abu Dhabi. Wow, we are having an audience from also in the Middle East. Salam alaikum, Michael. Kiaf Hale. Jovel is a familiar name. I know you're a CPA, Jovel. Also, someone in the academe. All right, we have really good audience from different backgrounds, but I saw that a lot of you are already in the accounting profession. But if you're not, guys, and you're here out of curiosity, out of wanting to know what could be or if US tax could be an option for you, even if you don't have an accounting background, this webinar is exactly for you as well. Okay. So let's move on. Thank you guys for responding to the question. You guys are showing uh, cooperation. I really appreciate that. All right, now so on the first door, which is the bookkeeper. Uh, so I know that there's several bookkeepers in this room, and I genuinely think that this is most immediately available opportunity of all the five doors. So if you're employed at a firm right now, adding tax knowledge on top of your bookkeeping skills will qualify you to join your firm's tax team, especially once tax season hits and firms are scrambling for extra hands. This is not a career change. This is an internal upskill. You're not asking for a new job, you're becoming more valuable in the job you already have. And if you maintain your own bookkeeping clients, meaning you're not employed but you do direct client servicing, here's the exciting part. Every single one of those clients is already a warm tax lead. You don't need to go find new clients. These are people who already trust you, who already hand you their financial data every month. You are perfectly positioned to offer them more. Either way, I want you to really understand this point. Tax preparation is not a competing skill to bookkeeping. It's not an either or, it's an and. You're not replacing what you do. You're deepening the exact relationship you've already built with your clients or your employer. Let me show you exactly what that looks like in dollar terms. All right, let me make this concrete with numbers. And I want to be clear, these are illustrative, not a guarantee. Your actual rates will depend on your market and your clients, of course. I'm using Philippine based freelance rates here, not US based rates. US based because US based rates are way higher, guys. US CPAs charges more in terms of bookkeeping retainer and tax preparation. So I'm being realistic here by using Philippine base rate. So um, a rate that reflects what most of us are actually charging. So let's say you have one small business bookkeeping client and you charge them a monthly retainer of about 200 bucks, which is a realistic rate for a Philippine-based bookkeeper. Over a year, that client is worth $2,400 to you. Agree? So 200 times 12. That is if you charge this bookkeeping client $200 a month. That's the before picture. Bookkeeping only. So if that is a bookkeeping client, you earn 2,400 from that client. Now watch what happens when you add tax preparation to that same relationship. You keep the monthly bookkeeping retainer that doesn't go away, but now once a year you also prepare their business tax return. Let's say that's worth around $400 because we only prepare once a year. So that's just one time. And because you already have their financial data from bookkeeping all year, you're also perfectly positioned to prepare the owner's personal tax return. And that could be another $150. So add that up at that same client, the same relationship, the same trust you already built is now worth about 20, 20 $2,950 a year instead of 2,400. That's not a new client. That's not new marketing. The exact same person just receiving three services instead of one. This is why I say tax prep complements bookkeeping so powerfully. The upside is sitting right there in your existing client list. And I would also like to talk about if you're employed by a tax firm and you're only doing bookkeeping. This is based on personal experience, guys. If you're a bookkeeper wanting to transition to US tax, um, that's a really good thing because most tax preparers, I'm not saying this in absolute terms, but most tax preparers, they are paid way, way more than bookkeepers. Okay. Plus, it's not, there's a lot of downtime in tax preparation because in November, December, there's no tax returns to prepare. So most tax preparers, even if there's no tax to prepare, they still get paid on a monthly basis, right? Okay. Again, if you guys have questions, please write those down so you don't forget. Okay, clarification or reaction maybe. Uh, please let's tackle those in the Q&A. All right. So now let's talk to the virtual assistants in the room. So I know we have a couple or maybe three. I don't know if in Tech Talk these folks are doing virtual assisting. I want to make an honest case here. I actually think tax preparation can be an easier skill to climb than bookkeeping, and I want to explain exactly why. Well, because bookkeeping asks you to make ongoing judgment calls every single day. How do I categorize this? Is this a business expense or not? Does this reconcile? Tax preparation is different. It happens in a defined once a year cycle per client, which makes it much easier to compartmentalize and actually master. Instead of juggling dozens of open, evolving books at once, second, the software does the heavy lifting. Professional tax software calculates the actual math for you. Your job is accurate data entry and knowing where things belong on the form. And if you're a VA, that's already exactly what you do all day: precise, detail oriented work inside a system. Third, tax prep is built around standardized forms. A Form 1040 looks basically the same every single time. A Schedule C follows the same structure every time. Compare that to bookkeeping, which shifts completely depending on the client's industry. Tax forms are a learnable, repeatable checklist. And fourth, this is the big one. If you can already follow SOPs or standard operating procedures, checklist, and structured processes as a VA, you already have the exact instincts that tax preparation rewards. You're not starting from zero. You're transferring a skill you already have into a higher paying container. Now, why do I talk about this? A lot of VAs would want to upskill, right? And a lot of VAs are studying bookkeeping because that's the most common approach. And that's, let's be honest, in the Philippine context, there are more bookkeeping courses than there is a tax. There are more people offering bookkeeping courses than there are for tax preparation, right? Because there's very few tax preparers, as a matter of fact. And if there, um, tax preparers in the Philippines, they probably don't have time to teach, right? So it's common for VAs to look into bookkeeping rather than tax preparation, and I feel like um, that's that should change because if you're a VA, I would recommend that you learn US tax prep instead than bookkeeping for many reasons. One is bookkeeping is not AI proof, right? In 2 or 3 years' time, AI can take over the uh, bookkeeping function. And let's be honest, some people say no, but it is happening. A lot of firms, like I have a firm that I'm connected with, we no longer do P&L via QuickBooks. It's through AI called Claude, if you guys are familiar of that. So it's not AI proof. Secondly, it's bookkeeping is not as straightforward as tax preparation. Tax preparation, the once you learn it, it is very straightforward, right? It's almost uniform for every taxpayer, like 1040. It's literally like filling out the form, right? But you have to be trained to determine if the document that is being sent by the taxpayer is a tax document or not, or if it's relevant to the tax preparation. You also have to learn how to enter the information. Make sure that all the entries that you make in the tax software is complete and of course accurate, because you don't want to enter an income of 1,000 and you mistakenly input that to 10,000. But that of course is, if you have someone, or if you're someone who is already having that attention to detail, that's not going to be a problem for you, right? So what I'm saying is that from a standpoint of a tax preparer who has experience in bookkeeping and virtual assisting, I would say that tax preparation is much more straightforward and easier to learn than bookkeeping. Plus, it's worth more. It's more rewarding than bookkeeping. And another thing, it's not saturated market. There's a lot of firms looking for tax preparers, but there's very few tax preparers that are available out there. But if you look around bookkeeping, it's a saturated market because everybody is a bookkeeper, right? So if you guys would want to explore tax preparation, we are giving you that opportunity to know more about it and see if it's something for you. Now, if you're a total career switcher, maybe you've never worked in accounting, bookkeeping, or finance at all, I want to speak directly to you because you might be the most surprised by what I'm about to say. Personal tax returns are the most standardized return in the entire system. A Form 1040 for a simple individual wage earner follows basically the same structure year after year, client after client. It's not improvisation, it's pattern recognition. And there's massive volume here. Millions of straightforward W 2 wage earner returns get filed every single year in the US. That's not a niche, that's a perfect low complexity training ground where you can build real confidence before ever touching something more complex like a business return. Here's what I want you to really hear: no accounting background is required to start here. Attention to detail and a genuine willingness to follow a structured process matter, matter far more than a degree. In fact, in my experience, total career changers with zero accounting background are one of the most common groups that successfully break into this profession, and they almost always start exactly here with simple individual returns. And if you guys are if you are new to borderless accountants and you're curious about a Form 1040 and everything that I have just talked about earlier in the previous slides, um, look us up on YouTube. Look up Borderless Accountants. We have made a playlist there of our tax prep course. And that tax prep course, as a matter of fact, for individual tax returns or the Form 1040, there are 72 videos. And I believe there's 40 videos for business. So that's one good way for you to gauge if those forms, or you see yourself filling out those forms, or the terminologies resonate with you. So that is if in case you are in the side of um, a VA wanting to upscale to a tax preparer. All right, now if you're already preparing tax returns, which many of you are in this room, this next part is for you because I know a lot of you are asking, okay, Chris, I'm already doing this. What's next for me? There are three natural upscaling directions from here, and they're genuinely different from each other. So pick the one that actually excites you. The first is tax reviewer. This is quality control. You're the one catching errors and confirming accuracy before a return goes out the door. It requires deeper technical knowledge than preparing alone. But here's the interesting part. It doesn't require you to manage your own client book. If you like the technical if you like the technical side but not necessarily the client relationship side, this might be your path. The second is tax strategist. This is forward looking, proactive work, helping clients with entity structuring, multi year planning, and tax saving strategy, not just filing what already happened. This role commands meaningfully higher billing rates because you're not just recording history, you're actively shaping outcomes. And the third is tax resolutionist. This is representing clients who have real IRS problems. That could be audit, back taxes, offers in compromise. This is high stakes, high urgency work, and because of that, it also carries the highest fees in the entire profession. People in crisis pay well for someone who can solve their problem. All three of these are real, viable directions. The question isn't which one is best, it's which one matches how you want to spend your working hours. Right? Again, this slide is for those who are already doing tax preparation. Some of you are already tax preparers. I don't know if some of you are already doing tax review, but more than doing tax review, you can also be doing tax strategy. Tax strategy are those who are looking at saving the taxpayer money. Instead of that money going into paying taxes, you advise the taxpayer to plan ahead. One example of a tax strategy is transitioning from a Schedule C filer to an 1120S, or electing as an S Corp. I've seen a lot of tax returns that I reviewed, where clients are earning more than 100,000, and these clients are filing Schedule Cs rather than electing as an S corp, and that's a missed opportunity that could have saved the taxpayer thousands of dollars. And there's a lot more. We're not going to talk about tax strategy here, but it's a really good area to be also knowledgeable about because it pays very well. Because with tax strategies, you're dealing with the really rich clients or high income clients. Now, tax resolutionist, this is what I do. I do a lot of tax resolution where I help clients resolve their issues with the IRS. Most of the clients who have not paid their balance due or taxes with the IRS, they get notices, right? And those notices can be alarming. It could be that taxpayer is being garnished. It could be the taxpayer's passport is in the risk of getting canceled, or it could be that their properties are getting liened or levied, and they need help. And again, those who need help, they tend to pay more to get their issues resolved, right? And that's tax resolution. And that is where an enrolled agent profession comes into the picture. And again, if we have time later today, I'll show you exactly how that works. Okay, I have one example that is real life example for you to get a better context of what exactly does tax resolution mean. All right. Now let's talk about the fifth door. And honestly, I think this is the one. This is the one most people underestimate: becoming an enrolled agent. Here's a comparison I want you to really sit with. The EA exam is three exams with, and every single one of them is purely about tax. The CPA exam, by comparison, is four exams covering tax, but also audit, business law, and general regulation. The CPA is a broader credential. The EA is a deep specialization in exactly one thing. And here's the part that matters most. Despite being narrower in scope, the EA credential unlocks unlimited representation rights before the IRS nationwide. That means an EA can represent any taxpayer or any tax matter in front of any IRS office anywhere in the country. That's the same representation power a CPA or an attorney has, specifically for a tax matters. So think about that trade-off for a second. You're not being asked to master four broad areas of accounting. You're being asked to go deep on one thing: tax. And in exchange, you get a credential that carries enormous weight in exactly the profession we've been talking about all night. That is what I mean when I say this credential punches way above its weight. I'm almost running on battery, guys. Bear with me 1 second. And I may have to take out my mic. Okay. All right, bear with me a second, guys. I don't want the presentation to die. All right. How are you guys doing so far? Everything, everyone's been getting good insight. All right, because I talk about this because a lot of you, especially Philippine CPAs, wanting to venture into US CPA because um, for greener pasture. But if you're looking to work not in the US, just in the Philippines, but still manage to work with US clients, why would you take the CPA route when it's more expensive, it's more difficult when you can become an EA? Also, enrolled agent is really available to anybody. Like if you take the CPA, you have to have the required credits. Not everybody can take the CPA. I even attempted one when I was in Saudi. I sent my credentials to the state of California. I wanted to check if I can be a US CPA, but it came back. I sent with them my transcript, but it came back that I was lacking about 18 or 24 units, and I have to study for those. I have to earn those units. So I forgot about that dream. But a few years down the road, I became an enrolled agent, which again, on the in the eyes of the IRS, is pretty much the same as a CPA, right? So, and again, it's available to anybody. You don't have to have a high school diploma even to get the enrolled agent credential because it does not require any educational attainment. All right, let's get really practical about what the EA credential actually does for you on the job market because I don't want this to feel abstract. First, a large share of tax position job postings explicitly ask for an EA or a CPA. You may be looking at Upwork or Online Jobs PH. Most of those, if not all of them, that are looking for a tax preparer, they would put in the qualification that they prefer to have someone who is an EA or a CPA. Although it's not required, but it's a good thing to see on a resume. It's often the very first filter an employer applies when they're screening resumes. So, do you have the credential? Yes or no? Second, most tax firm owners are EAs themselves. Think about what that means. When you apply, the person reading your resume already deeply understands and respects exactly what that credential took to earn. You're not explaining yourself to someone unfamiliar with it. Third, even at firms owned by CPAs in the US rather than EAs, the credential is still respected. CPA firm owners know the EA designation well. It's the IRS's own mark of specialized tax expertise, and it's recognized across this entire industry. And fourth, here's what I really want you to walk away with tonight. Even without direct work experience, simply holding an EA credential meaningfully improves your odds of getting an interview and getting hired. In a market where everyone says they know taxes, the EA is proof. It's not just a nice to have, it's a real measurable edge. Let's answer the question I know a lot of you are wondering: who can actually take this exam? And the honest answer is, I already said about it earlier, anyone. No college degree required, no accounting background required, no prior IRS or tax experience required. Literally anyone can register and sit for the special enrollment examination. But I want to give you honest personal advice here because I care about you actually passing this, not just attempting it. Being eligible is not the same as being ready. I do not recommend walking into this exam without real tax preparation experience, or at the very least, proper structured training first. This exam is detailed, it's technical, and walking in cold just because the IRS lets you. It's a setup for a really difficult day. This is exactly why our US tax prep course exists the way it does. It's not just designed to make you client ready, it's specifically built to prepare you for the EA exam itself. If you're seriously considering becoming an enrolled agent, the smartest first move isn't to book the exam. It's to build the foundation first, so that when you do sit for it, you walk in prepared, not just eligible. Why do I say about this in particular with one slide? Because when I took the EA exam, even if I was already preparing personal and business return, I still had a difficult time understanding the concepts. And if I had no tax experience, it would have been more difficult. And one thing that resonated with me was when I was in the US, I met with one partner in the tax firm that I'm connected with right now. He's a very intelligent guy, former Air Force in the US, and he took the EA exam because he's in the tax industry now as well. And he told me, Chris, when I took the EA exam, I didn't feel like it prepared me to become a tax preparer. And I said, 100% agree. Because the enrolled agent is focused on the theory, not on practical term, right? So if you don't have an idea of what a 1040 is, or a business return at least, it will be hard. It's not impossible because I know someone who does not necessarily have an experience but went through our training, took the exam and passed because it's not a really difficult exam. If you're intelligent enough, you can pass the exam even if you don't have an experience. But what I'm saying is, if you have at least a tax training or a tax preparation training, it would prepare you very much for the EA exam. It wouldn't be as difficult, right? I personally took the EA exam in almost 2 years. So I took mine, the first part in October of 2022. It took a while. I took the business part in November of 2023 because I really couldn't wrap my head around the business tax material or the business part material. I had a difficult understanding what basis is, especially for individual for partnership. So, but over time, those made sense, right? Because now I have more experience, and this is also where we come at BA to prepare you even better for the enrolled agent exam so that you're not just memorizing concepts, but you're actually able to contextualize them and how that actually appear and look like in an actual tax return. And again, we have a couple of EAs already who are based in India. They enrolled in the US tax preparation course because, again, even if they're AA, that doesn't mean that they already know tax preparation. Okay. All right. Before I go there in this particular slide, let me share one thing, like where this enrolled agent credential can take you. And I'm not gonna give you some shitty stuff. Sorry for the word. But I personally am very fortunate to have the EA credential because it allows me to um, get as many leads as I could. Right? In Upwork, I don't send out applications, but because I have the EA credential, clients reach out to me. So I'll show you one. Like for example, just earlier this morning, I got a message from someone who wants to. Um, Right. So I'm looking for part-time remote tax resolution specialist. Are you interested? Right. That's literally just this morning, guys. Right. I didn't send an application. You can tell in the history. Um, and then I have this other guy who's also looking for a tax resolutionist as well. So he's looking for an enrolled agent with a valid CAF number and an EA number. I need someone who is well versed in OIC, CNC, penalty abatement, and EPIA. Are you available now for a meeting? They're looking for EA. Another one. This is an actual client I'm already working on right now. So as you can tell, I'm not sending them messages. They are the ones looking for help, right? And that's just in a matter of like these messages. There are very recent, right? Again, I'm not making up stories here, guys. There are opportunities, and I know that. That's why I'm very confident to come in front of you to say that there really are opportunities, and you don't have to be in the U.S. to practice U.S. tax. Okay, so that's three. There's another one who made a consultation but canceled, but I was paid nonetheless. There's another one. See this one. Another one I'm currently working with right now. Again, she reached out to me directly. Right. Again, that client reached out to me directly because again, guys, honestly, I don't send out applications in Upwork. I don't because I don't need it. I really don't need it, but I keep my profile there because once in a while I entertain clients. Right. Some messages I don't respond anymore because there's just too many. And another one here, Jeff. Reach out to me straight, right? See, uh, hold on. This guy reached out to me, but this interview invite in Upwork. If they want to interview you for a position, they send out an interview invite, and so I responded to him on that invite because I wanted to help him. But those are just few of the messages I got simply because I have the enrolled agent credential on my profile, right? And it helps, guys. It really helps. And if you're someone wanting to do your own practice without having to be employed, being employed in a tax firm could be so taxing, right? Because you have to. Some firms will have time trackers. Some would cap your salary and stuff. But if you're a tax resolutionist, you can do it at your own time because you're not treated as an employee. You're treated as a practitioner, right? So that's the ultimate thing that we want in life, right? And that's why I keep telling everybody I'm a borderless accountant because it being borderless allows me flexibility, right? Because I don't have to deal with you know being treated as an employee. All right, so I hope that magnified what I had to say earlier to you guys. um, Now let's bring everything together because I've thrown a lot of at you in the last 30 minutes and I want to make sure it lands clearly. If you're a bookkeeper, your move is to add tax prep to the client relationships you already have or to join your tax firm's tax team. If you're a virtual assistant, lean into the fact that tax prep is structured and checklist driven. That plays directly to your strengths. If you're a career switcher with no background at all, start with simple, individual personal returns and build your confidence from there. If you're already a preparer, it's time to choose your next rung: reviewer, strategist, or resolutionist, whichever matches how you want to work. And if you're ready to commit for the long term, no matter which door you walk through tonight, building toward the enrolled agent credential is the single highest leverage move you can make in this entire progression. So take a second right now and just ask yourself honestly, which row on this slide is you? Hold on to that answer because it's exactly what we're going to talk about next. So here's where I want to land all of this. Every single path we covered tonight, the bookkeeper, the VA, the career switcher, the existing preparer, the future enrolled agent, every one of them leads through the exact same door: real, structured, guided tax preparation training. That's exactly what the Borderless Accountant US Tax Prep course is built to be, a structured curriculum that takes you from the foundations all the way to real filing scenarios. Step by step, guidance on your PTIN, and yes, preparation is specifically geared towards the EA exam, if that's where you're headed. Live classes, fully recorded, so you're never stuck choosing between showing up and catching up. And our next cohort begins August 3rd. If anything I've shared tonight, whichever door was yours, made you think, okay, I actually want to do this, then this is your next step. In a few minutes, I'm going to hand things over to Marilu, who's going to walk you through the exact investment and tonight's special pricing. So hold your horses and stick around because we have something special for you for those who attended this webinar. But before that, let's make sure you know where to find us. Right? We're all over. So before I hand things over to Marilu, I want to make sure everyone knows where to find us, even if you're not ready to enroll tonight. We're on YouTube at Borderless Accountants, where we post free tutorials and breakdowns every week. So if I may be allowed to share my screen one more time, I'll just show you guys where to exactly find us. And if you guys really want to know us more, I would recommend YouTube because we've put together a really good number of materials for you to learn from. And you can even learn for free from there. You don't have to pay. Um, the only difference is that if you enroll in our tax prep course, you are able to join a live training, not a recording. And Mario Lu will present more benefits from it. So if you're in YouTube, look us up, Borderless Accountants, right? So this is us. And if you go to playlist, you can see that we've put together good material for you to learn from. So there is, uh, so last year we put together 65 videos for individual taxation course. We put together 21 videos for business. We even had bookkeeping. So if you guys are interested to get to know us more, again, the best way is through YouTube. And not just YouTube, we also have a dedicated website. If you're someone who wants to learn in a more structured environment, go to www.borderlessaccountants. Let me type that in. Sorry. Why is my spelling problematic? All right. So if you would want to enroll in free courses, we have a website that you can also visit. We put together good amount of learning materials over here. You have to create an account, but we have a lot of. If you go to online courses, there's a lot of courses that you can choose from. And again, these are free, right? So these are free. And if you want to know more about us, what we do, get updated, we are also on TikTok. We are on Facebook. So look us up on those platforms. So YouTube, Facebook. We also have a Facebook community with about close to 7,000 members. You can join that. Again, TikTok, we're Instagram. We are also on Telegram. So there's not a shortage of channel that you can follow us and learn more about what we do. And if you guys would want to be in the know of what we do at BA, you know what to do. All right, time check 8:10. So at this point, you've heard exactly where you fit in, whether you're a bookkeeper, a VA, a career switcher, an existing preparer, or someone ready to build toward becoming an enrolled agent. Before we open it for questions, I want to hand things over to my colleague, a career switcher herself, Marilu. Marilu is going to walk you through exactly what's included in the course, the special pricing we prepared for you tonight for tonight's session, and exactly how you can enroll before our next cohort begins on August 3rd. All right, Marilu, over to you. Let me just pull up your presentation. All right, this one, I think. All right, Lou, your turn.
Hi everyone. Good evening. Welcome back. It's so good to see so many familiar names again tonight. And if this is your first time joining us live, welcome. You're jumping in at a great point. Now I know not everyone here was able to join us live last week for part one, and that's completely okay. I made sure to send the full recording. I think Chris already done this
Yeah. Hmm?
for a while, guys. Okay, so apologize for that. This is live, so that really happens. Okay, once again, good evening, everyone, and thank you, Chris. And hi again to all of you, to our live viewers out there. How many millions do we have? So my name is Mary Lou, and I'm the one of the facilitators of Borderless Accountants. And Chris is right. I'm the career shifter of Borderless Accountants. So from that end now to Borderless Accountants. So I am borderless this time. For the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly what you get when you enroll in US tax prep course. So what your investment looks like, and I have a special rate. I am so excited for this special rate, guys. So I know everyone is waiting for this. Okay, so special rate for everyone to share with you tonight. That's exclusive to everyone attending this live session. So please stay with me with Borderless Accountants team and keep your eyes on the chat box, and let's go through this together. Okay, so before we talk numbers, I want to make sure everyone remembers exactly what's included, because I think once you see the full picture, the investment is going to make a lot of sense. You get a structured curriculum taking you from the foundations all the way to the real filing scenarios.
Wait, I think you're not sharing screen. Just bear with us 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys. I didn't realize we're not sharing screen. Things happen. We're live.
Yeah, we're live. We're borderless. Okay, so once again, so before we talk numbers, all right, so I want to make sure everyone remembers exactly what's included in this course. So you get a structured curriculum taking you from the foundations all the way to real filing scenarios, delivered fully in English for our community, which now spans several countries. Okay, so we need to speak in English, guys, from the beginning up to until the end of the session. So we are on EOP, English only policy. Every theory is reinforced with quizzes, assessments, and mock tax returns. So you're not just watching, you're actually practicing. This is a hands on. There's a lot of hands on exercises and the mock returns. Classes are live, so you can ask questions in real time. And every single session is recorded. So you can't make it, if you can't make it live, you will never fall behind. You can easily catch up through the recorded videos. You get step by step guidance on your P10 and preparation geared toward the enrolled agent exam, if that's your goal. Okay, so you're joining a real community with mentorship and direct access to Chris, a practicing CPA and enrolled agent, and your progress is tracked from day one, which means once you're on our list, when hiring, placement, or EOR opportunities come up with our partners. That's the full picture. So now let's talk about what this actually costs. And so there, right? So here's the regular price of the full program. The borderless accountant US tax prep course is normally 14,999 pesos. That includes everything I just walked you through, the full structured curriculum, live and recorded classes, P10 and EA guidance, and the community and mentorship. That is the standard rate. That is the standard rate. Again, that's 4,999 pesos. And honestly, given everything included, we believe it's a fair price for what this program delivers. But because all of you showed up live tonight, and thank you for joining us, I have something special to share with you. And we are all excited for this something special. Okay, are we ready for that something special? Okay, here you go. Let's not wait too long. Here it is. This is the moment I've been building up to because you attended tonight's live webinar. You qualify for a special webinar only rate. So our attendance tonight can avail of this 9,999 pesos. Again, instead of the regular 14,999 pesos, you can enroll tonight for only 9,999 pesos. That's a saving of 5,000 pesos just for being here with us live. But I do want to be upfront with you about the terms. This rate is exclusive to tonight's attendees, and it is only valid for the next 24 hours, guys. So please grab the opportunity for enrolling to this promo rate only for the attendees tonight. Again, this is valid for 24 hours until tomorrow. After that window closes, the price goes back to the regular 14,999 pesos. So if this program is something you've been thinking about tonight and tomorrow are genuinely the best time to make that decision. I know time limited offers can sometimes feel like a sales tactic. So let me just be honest with you about why we structured it this way. First, this really is our way of rewarding you for showing up tonight. You gave us your evening. I know there's a lot of tasks to do out there. Maybe celebration with your friends or your family. Okay. And you asked thoughtful questions later. You park your questions and you stay with us. That matters to us, guys. And this rate reflects that. So second, we genuinely do keep this window short, 24 hours on purpose because that's what keeps it a real reward for tonight's attendees. Specifically, so how many attendees do we have? 60 plus?
65 million.
All right,
And
65 million and 39
TikTok.
millions in TikTok. So rather than something that quietly turns into an anytime discount for anyone who asks, And third, this is practically tied to how we run the program. Once enrollment closes, we need that time to prepare materials, confirm everyone's seat, and get you properly onboarded before class begins on August 3rd. So the deadline isn't arbitrary, it's how we make sure the cohort starting on the 3rd is ready to go with you in it. We want you in, guys. Okay, so how do you actually claim this rate tonight? It's simple, just 4 steps. Please focus on the 4 steps. Okay. Step one, check the chat box. I am sending the official payment link directly into the chat box during this session. Um, Carm can also assist us sending the
Payment link.
payment link. So keep an eye out for it because we will be sending the payment link in the chat box. In the chat box. So step two, click that link and complete your payment of 9,999 pesos, the exclusive webinar rate. Step three, and one more step. Okay. Step three, once payment is completed, you'll receive a confirmation and onboarding email with everything you need to know. And step four, you'll be added to our learner community ahead of our August 3rd start date. So you can start connecting with your batchmates, batch one actually, even before class begins. So please look for the payment link in the chat box right now. Carm is sending the payment link in the chat box. All right, and let me walk you through exactly what happens right after you enroll tonight, guys, because I want you to feel completely confident about what comes next, and you have the right to know. Okay, the moment your payment goes through, you'll get an instant email confirming your seat in the program. Shortly after, you will be welcomed into our private learner community where you can start meeting your batchmates right away. So we'll also send you a pre-course material so you walk into day one already oriented and ready, not scrambling to catch up. And then on August 3rd, your structured live cohort officially begins. And remember, every single class is recorded. So even if live happens and you miss a session, you are never locked out or left behind. You can easily catch up. So before we head into questions, I just want to bring this all the way home. Okay. Tonight, you've seen the real opportunity in US tax preparation. You've seen exactly where you fit in, whether that's as a bookkeeper, a VA, a career shifter, or someone already preparing returns. And now you've seen your rate. It's only 9,999 pesos instead of the regular 14,999 pesos exclusively because you attended tonight's live session. And only for the next 24 hours. Please take note of that. The payment link is in the chat box right now. If you're ready, please don't wait. Click it, complete your enrollment, and let's get you into the August 3rd cohort. And if you still have questions before you commit, that's completely okay, guys. Ask us right now in the chat, and we'll answer as many as we can before we close tonight. All right, so let's open it up for questions. This is the part where I want to make sure nothing is holding you back from enrolling tonight if you're ready. So go ahead and type your questions. Chris and the rest of the VA team are ready to answer those questions. While those come in, here are a few common ones I can answer right away. Yes, the 9,999 pesos rate really is exclusive to tonight's live attendees. And yes, it really does expire in 24 hours. Okay, it expires in 24 hours. After that, it goes back to 14,000 999 pesos. For payment, just use the link I sent in the chat box and it will walk you through your options. If August 3rd doesn't work perfectly for your schedule, message us directly. Every class, again, is recorded, so a lot of our learners catch up around their work schedule. And if you run into any issues at all while enrolling, please just message us directly in the chat and we will personally help you through it. So, what questions do you have for me or for us or for Chris? I guess Chris will take over the Q&A portion.
All right, I'll handle that. All righty. Thank you, Lou, for that. I hope that actually gave you a preview of what the course is about. And I think it was not mentioned earlier that this is a 4 months course. This starts on August 3rd. It's daily from Mondays to Fridays, 7 to 9 p.m. Uh, and I personally handle the class. So this starts in August, ends in November, right? Because if you've encountered courses being offered that's self-paced, that meets once a week, I don't think that's ever gonna work. You will never learn from that course. So tax prep, you have to be doing it, and you have to be guided for you to learn, right? Because one way to learn is actually being employed in a tax firm, but not everybody can be employed without the experience, without the credential. So the course is basically would give you an experience of how it actually is as someone working in a firm. So it's even more guided. I'm telling you, I wish I had this training when I was learning tax. It wouldn't have taken me 6 years to figure out how to do tax resolution, how to do tax review. But you guys are lucky that BA has put up together a course like this that guides you, even makes you prepare actual tax returns using an actual tax software, and also walks you through the enrolled agent credential. This is no BS course, guys. Again, you can look around, compare prices, compare how we do things versus others. There's probably no other course that does daily, right? There's no other course that does daily other than BA. Again, because we care about our learners, we just don't want you to pay for a course and um, not really learn from it, right? I take this very seriously. That's why I'm personally doing it. Um, and there's a lot of us who are supporting, because you will need support. When you're learning, you will need support to do one-on-one coaching, mentoring, maybe. So that's also one reason why we're no longer offering this for free. I used to do it for free. That's why you will see those videos in YouTube, because I was doing it myself. But now we have a team of more than 10 people, who are also learning with you, but at the same time, they are dedicated support, right? So again, so that you're not lost, you're guided, and you are also made accountable. Because when you enroll and when you invest, you have to also do your part, right? And it will be good if someone is knocking on your door, checking up on your email, to see where you're at, right? That's an accountability check, that I made sure that we're doing, and Marilu is doing it because, again, we don't want anybody left behind. All right. So if you guys have any more questions, put them in the chat box. Again, we do not do BS here at BA. This payment link that we share with you in the chat is only exclusive for you guys. We're not making it available to anybody else. If you're ready to enroll, click on that link. It's gonna expire in the next 24 hours. After that, it's no longer be it's not that link is not gonna work anymore. You cannot save it. You may save it, but it's only going to work in the next 24 hours. Um, I'll read through the questions now, and then if we still have time, I'll show you a video of an actual client call that I make, just so you can get a feel of what exactly it is to work as someone doing tax preparation, doing tax resolution. So you can see if that's something that would resonate with you. Okay. It's going to be a short video that, again, I would like to share with you, um, so you can get a better idea. All right. So how many slots are left? We have several slots left. The next batch will probably be next year, but it will not be handled by myself. It will be handled by someone else in the team. So, I can guarantee you it's not going to be as best as what it is going to be this year, because I'll personally handle the class. The reason we're not going to be doing the same class next year with me is because next year we're going to be offering an enrolled agent course. Okay. So we're not doing it this year because, for you to, I do not personally recommend that you take the enrolled agent right away, the exam, if you don't have an actual tax experience. And even if you do, there's a lot of us, I mean, guilty of this as well. In the past, eh, I would say in the early years of me doing tax prep, I didn't know everything because I used to work for a firm where I was preparing tax return, but nobody is reviewing my work. So, because tax is a very broad area, if you're not guided, you may have the misconception that you already know a lot of things, but really you know a little, right? Because there's so much to learn. But if no one is guiding you, no one is advising you, you may have that misconception in your head that you already know a lot. And that's what we also want to strive to get to, um, train you in the tax prep course, as broad and as structured as possible. Okay, so even if you're already a tax preparer but not yet a reviewer, this could still be good for you. Okay. How many all right. So questions: are those employees under private employer or potential customers? Yes. Rogelio, you're probably asking from a point of view of a CPA in the Philippines. In the Philippines, we do substituted filing, right? Our employers file the tax returns for us. In the US, that's not the case. I would say 99% of the employees there, they file their own tax return. So yes, they can be a really good clients, and I'll explain that in the course, because in the US they have several earning sources. They do not just rely on wages. They have investments, they have real estate properties, they have their businesses on the side. So it's complex that they need help. They need professional help in filing their tax returns. So that's why it's a huge market. It's really huge. Sana po my certificate. We don't run webinar for the certificate. I'm sorry, and I'm not personally fond of certificates, you guys. So I'm sorry to disappoint you, Jamrud. I'm gonna be straightforward. We do not provide certificates, again, because I'm not a believer of certificates. If you're someone collecting certificates just for the sake of collecting certificate, BA is not for you. Okay, I'm gonna be upfront with you, because even if I'm interviewing someone, I would not care if you're a CPA or an enrolled agent or whatnot. I would not care about the certificate. I care more about the competence. Okay, so again, I'm sorry to say, if you are someone collecting certificates, BA is not likely the place for you. Jerica, when will the enroll second batch? You're already talking about second batch. You have not even started the first batch. So second batch is gonna be next year. I'm not even sure if there's gonna be a second batch, because we already have good number of enrollees. Because we started our intensive course. We started with bookkeeping back in June 1st. So we're already a month and a half actually doing training. So what we're intending to do is, for all of those who enroll this year, we're going to be training them to do enrolled agent next year. So I'm not really personally sure that there's going to be second batch. Okay. um, will there be an internship for US tax prep? We have designed it in a way that it simulates an actual internship experience. You will be preparing mock returns, and someone will in the team will be reviewing those mock returns. Exactly an experience of being an intern, maybe even better. I don't have the budget right now. Can I join the next batch? Yes, of course you can, but 1 year could already be a long wait time for you to join. You may be losing the opportunity of learning and preparing yourself for the enrolled agent course, if you don't join this time. Does it require to have a laptop during the classes? Yes. I would even encourage someone who's joining the class to have a second monitor, because I would want you to be, or I would want the learners to be preparing the return alongside me, right? Because, you do not learn by just watching, by listening. You actually learn better by doing it yourself. So, yes, a laptop would be uh, not even good. It's required, if I may say so. Because your learning, if you're using mobile phone, would be so limited. Pwede po bang installment? If you join today for the webinar, and if you're listening very intently right now and you want the installment program, we can accommodate you. But please message us at the email support@borderlessaccountant.com so that we can personally respond to you. If you don't have the means, and that's okay, provided that you are in this webinar, message us on that email. Again, that's support@borderlessaccountant.com, and we will get back to you. Rohel, you are those employees under private? Okay, I think I already answered this. Do we have morning schedule like 7 in the morning onwards? We don't. So the schedule is 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's fixed Mondays to Fridays. If you cannot join because your schedule does not allow, um, there are recordings, right? All the sessions, including the quizzes, assignments, assessments, are all recorded so that you can do it at your own time. But live session is fixed, unfortunately. Hello, Rosalie. Thank you very much for answering my question about my enrollment. Okay, thank you, Rosalie. See you on August 3rd. Sana po may certificate. I'm sorry, we don't do certificate. Pwede po ba installment? I think that's already answered. So message us. Rubelin, I think she already enrolled. Rubelin Santos, welcome to BA. I'm excited to see you on August 3rd, and we'll be spending the next 4 months together, maybe even more. um, Thank you, Rubelin, again. Thanks just for the answer. I appreciate. Yeah, sure, of course, you're welcome. But what if they are purely employee, not possible as potential client? Good question. Or W a good, uh, but don't you charge on to, because it's a very simple return. And most of those who have simple returns, they file on their own, because in the US there are self e-filing platforms that they don't have to pay if they have simple returns. But even if I don't know if you've heard of a company called TurboTax. It's owned by the same company as QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks. They have Intuit has a software for tax preparation called TurboTax. It's mainly for self filers. So if they have simple returns, they go and file them separately. And those honestly are not good candidates for tax preparation clients as well, because again, you cannot charge as much as you would want to. Your clients would an ideal client would be someone who's more complex situation, one with investments in stocks, investment in real estate, has a self-employment income, um, and has a separate business on the side, like a separately registered business. Those are good clients, and there's many of them. Again, there's so many of them. I've already showed you my Upwork profile. In the past 1 month, I managed to get those inquiries. I didn't even have to search for them. They come to me. So that could happen to you too, right? But it would not happen to you if you don't learn, right? If you don't if you keep thinking that it would happen to you, but you're not doing anything about it, nothing's gonna happen. Done, CUPA team. Thank you, Nap. Yeah, so the email is there, support at Borderless Accountant. Do we need to have software access for the hands-on? Yes. We will guide you on how to sign up to ProConnect. ProConnect will be our primary tax software that we'll be using because it's cloud-based and everybody can have access. And we'll guide you on how to create an account. Why do you call the exam to become an EA? It's called Special Enrollment Examination. Thank you, Lou. Currently, it's last year, up until I think February this year, it was administered by a company called Prometrics. So they're the ones proctoring for the exam. And it's unfortunately not available in the Philippines. So you have to fly to countries like Korea, Japan, India. Those are the closest countries that you can take the exams at. But after February, it's been taken over by a company called PSI, and they have yet to announce if they're gonna be making it available in the Philippines. And so far, as my research is concerned, they may likely make it available in the Philippines, even straight from home. So they're building a technology that allows someone to take it from anywhere, provided that they pass the security check. So that could really change the game for those who want to uh, take the enrolled agent. Once it becomes available in the Philippines, it's going to be very accessible to you guys. So yeah, how does the internship work? So again, the internship is we will be assigning you mock returns to prepare, and then we will review them either one on one, or we will send you an email. Usually, this goes through Google Classroom. So all of the mock returns that you will be preparing, you will submit those in Google Classroom. We will check them. We will check them, and we will provide you feedback. If you did well, if there are areas that you miss, if there are areas that you need improvement on, and in fact, you have the opportunity to also book a one-on-one coaching with any of our members in the team. Okay, and we may be even be able to provide internship with an actual firm. No guarantees yet, but we're working on that. Okay, no more questions. If you guys have more questions, let me just continue to type that in the chat. We still have time. So in the interest of you being here, I'll just show you one video that I recorded with one of an actual client, just so you know how it works, right? And the opportunities that are really waiting for you. So this client I met in Upwork, he messaged me that he needed support, or he needed help with an issue that he's facing before the IRS. This is the second call that we had, and I did this from my car, because that's what I do. I don't have I have an office, a home office, but I prefer to do things anywhere I can. So that's why I I live the life of a borderless accountant. So bear with me, because again, my video here is not the best. But if you guys can just hear the context of our conversation.
Let's start.
Right. Give me 1 second. So I
Let's start.
right. So I believe you saw, and then just watch it, and then I will provide more context after the call or after the recording. Okay. So again, my video is not that clear because I'm in the car and it's, I think, 8 or 7 in the evening.
Let's start.
Right. So I believe you saw the update I had through email yesterday about one the required tax returns to be filed. So there were three. 1941 returns related to quarterly payroll, and then another payroll, which is an annual return, and then two of the S corp return. So three types of return, but there's actually four returns to file. Only then, when we're able to file those, and the IRS gets those returns processed, and we proceed with an installment agreement.
Yep. Okay.
And that 174 liability, we can reduce that with, again, I put that in the email, about 270, because you can qualify for the first time penalty abatement for 2021. But since we're filing late for 24 and 25, there may be additional penalties, which may be hard to update. Because 24, I was told that there was an extension that was filed, but the return was not received. 2025, there was no extension filed. If there was an extension for 2025, it would have been better because the deadline would have been September 15th of this year. But it's okay. I think the faster we can get this done, the better, so that you can save on further penalties. And the worst is, when there's penalties, those penalties also bear with them interest.
Sure.
So, are you, aside from there, are you working with other accountants?
I had been, but I'd like to terminate with them and continue working with you going forward.
Right. That I can
Yeah,
do.
what I was going to say, I can give you access to our QuickBooks account.
Mhm.
We have a Wise account.
Mhm.
Where all of our, by the way, I don't have any W-2 employees, and I haven't had any since, I don't know, going way back 10 years more or more. So it's all 1099 employees. As I think I mentioned to you, the majority of them are in the Philippines.
Yeah. They mentioned that.
I'm not sure how, would they require 1099 as well?
No, there's no requirement for that.
Okay.
But,
So yeah, I think, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think it was 2016 first quarter that they're missing. So back in 2016, you still had W2 employees.
No, I did not.
So
What quarter is missing?
Let me go back to my email that I sent you. Wait it down. Just give me 1 second. I'm sorry, not 2016. First quarter of 2021, and then for the entire year of 2023. So you mean to say that if there were no W2 employees during these years, we can just file zero return? Is that?
That's correct.
Okay. Yep. All right, guys. I think there is a problem with the audio. Let me try another way of sharing the audio. One where you can also see the transcript, or the not the transcript, but the caption, so that if you cannot hear the audio, at least you can read what's going on. So just give me 1 second. And for those who ask if there's going to be a portion in the tax prep where in the course where we will be teaching you how to build your portfolio, yes. There's even a dedicated 2 weeks for communication and portfolio building. So that's towards the end. And I also put together a lot of videos on that you will have access to as part of the program, where you will have access to the actual several actual um, what do you call this, discovery calls, so consultation calls for potential clients. I even put together actual interviews that I did with past and past clients, so that you understand or you have an idea how to approach an actual interview. So those will be in a Telegram channel that all only enrollees will have access to. Okay, so I don't think anybody who's offering a course like that is brave enough to share an actual interview session. But I'm confident to share with you my interviews, because I don't know. I just want you to learn. I'm not saying that I'm perfect in that interview, um, but it's the reality that uh, hopefully can help you learn. Hopefully you can learn from. So let's do this instead. Um,
Let's start.
right. So I believe you saw the update I had through email yesterday about one the required tax returns to be filed. So there were three. 1941 return, which is related to quarterly payroll.
It's not coming up.
And then another payroll, which is an annual return. And then two of the S-corp return.
Is it better now? The
Three
audio
times
is
a
better.
return, but there's actually four returns to file. Only then when we're able to file those and the IRS gets those returns processed, and we proceed with an installment agreement.
Yeah. Okay.
And that 174 liability, we can reduce that with, again, I put that in the email, about 270 because you can qualify for the first time penalty abatement for 2021. But since we're filing late for 24 and 25, there may be additional penalties, which may be hard to update. Because 24, I was told that there was an extension that was filed, but the return was not received. 2025, there was no extension filed. If there was an extension for 2025, it would have been better because the deadline would have been September 15th of this year. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay. I think the faster we can get this done, the better, so that you can save on further penalties. And the worst is, when there's penalties, those penalties also bear with them interest.
Sure.
So, are you, aside from there, are you working with other accountants?
I have been, but I'd like to terminate with them and continue working with you going forward.
Right. That I can
Yeah,
do.
and, yeah, I was going to say I can give you access to our QuickBooks account. We have a Wise account. Where all of our, by the way, all of our, I don't have any W-2 employees. I haven't had any since, I don't know, going way back 10 years more or more. So it's all 1099 employees. And as I think I mentioned to you, the majority of them are in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how, would they require 1099 as well?
No, there's no requirement for that.
Okay.
But
So yeah, I can give, okay.
I was just gonna say I think it was 2016 first quarter that they're missing. So back in 2016, you still had W2 employees.
No, I did not.
So is
What quarter is missing?
Let me go back to my email that I sent you. Wait it down. Just give me 1 second. No, sorry, not 2016. First quarter of 2021, and then for the entire year of 2023. So you mean to say that if there were no W2 employees during these years, we can just file zero return? Is that
That's correct.
okay? Then that makes it a lot easier then. Now for the 24 and 25, 11, 20 return, you said someone is going to catch up on the books.
Yes, unfortunately, I haven't gotten a response back from her. So yeah, I'm gonna actually have a call with the person who, the previous CPA who I was working with, to find out if he has maybe some updated contact information with the bookkeeper. But I think I could probably handle that internally myself. I just haven't been so incredibly busy with work. But I think I could probably handle getting essentially the bookkeeping done in QuickBooks to get that finalized for you, and I'll give you access to QuickBooks as well.
Sure, that would be great. I would suggest if you can give the access as soon as possible, so I can also look into it and possibly ask some questions while you're working on getting the books cleaned up or getting it caught up.
Yeah, sure thing. No problem. I'll do that as soon as we're off the call.
Sure. So I guess that's all from my end. The most pressing thing that we need to do is that access to QuickBooks, so we can get those books finalized and get those returns filed, and then I'll work on the 2021 941 and 23 940. Those can be filed ahead of the 11/20 return, and once those are done, we can get started with doing the application for the income agreement.
Okay, so good.
Right.
One question too. We have a contract which alerted me to the fact that we need to do all this. I knew, but obviously nothing like getting a payment redirected to the IRS to make you say, okay, now I got to get it done. How soon I'm being pressured by the agency that we have a contract with to submit our invoice. I've been trying to hold off on submitting. We invoice monthly. I've been trying to hold off on submitting the invoice until we get some sort of resolution with the IRS not to redirect. How soon can I look at that happening? Will it only happen after tax returns have been filed and the application submitted?
Yes. First, the IRS will need to receive those returns for 24 and 25. If we can get them e-filed, it takes about a week for them to get those numbers into. Oh wait, you're updated with your personnel, are you? Personnel.
No, everything is tied together, so I need to do 24 and 25 as well.
Yeah.
Personally.
Okay, so I'd say give it a couple of weeks until once we're able to e-file your missing returns, and then after that we'll start arranging for the installment agreement. Now, the thing with the installment agreement is it cannot be handled over the phone since the threshold is past the 25,000 limit or the threshold. So a dedicated revenue officer will have to handle it. And I spoke with the agent last night or yesterday and said, or I was told that they really cannot give it a timeline as to when the case will be picked up by a revenue officer. So I can't give a timeline, but if we are persistent and keep calling them, asking them where we are, that could help. Because if we just let them, get the case be picked up, it may take a while. But yeah, I'll do my best to
keep calling, keep corresponding with the IRS until we get a revenue officer who will then handle your case. And I guess I would just also need to ask you, as far as the installment agreement, um, how many months do you think you would want this to be split over?
What is usually an acceptable time frame? I was thinking if it could be spread over 5 years, that'd be great. I don't know if that's acceptable or not.
Yeah, actually, the standard is 72 months. So we can do 5 years if you want.
Oh no, 72 months is better.
Yeah, we can push for 72 months, or do you want longer than that? Or if they say 72 is desirable, then we do 72.
My goal would be to spread it out as possible. I'm just looking at the math now.
Sure.
The 72 months would be manageable. If that were the absolute longest period, it would definitely be manageable.
Okay, that sounds good. So yeah, I'll keep you posted. But then again, if you could give me the access as soon as possible, so we can work on that financials.
Perfect. And I'll have an answer from the previous accountant on the status of the 24, 25 books as soon as I talk to him. I'm scheduled to meet with him today, this morning as well. So I'll let you know about that.
Cool.
Okay. Also, Christian, I'll tell you, if this goes well, and I anticipate it will, we have a lot of clients that need their services. So I'll do that for our clients too. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have quite a few clients that need to catch up on their financials as well as returns, just like me. I won't tell them the reason why I met you.
Yeah, like that would be great if you could refer me to those who could probably cover our services.
Absolutely. I'll do the access to QuickBooks right now, and then I'll stick an email about 24, 25 as soon as I find out.
All right, thanks, Michael.
All right, thank you. Take care.
All right, you take care.
All right. So that's a classic call that you could also make your own, right? That's a direct client where you don't have to be employed by somebody else to do. And in fact, at the end of the call, that could actually lead to more clients because the guy's real well connected. So if we manage to help him resolve his issues with the IRS, he could bring in more clients. And that's how you can grow your practice, right? If you do your job very well, because you're knowledgeable at what you do, you're good at what you do, um, clients will naturally come. And that's what I've been telling people at BA, that the first thing you have to do is to build your competence, right? Opportunity will not come to you if you're not ready. So you have to be ready first. You have to be good at what you do, and then the client will come. The dollars that everybody is chasing is gonna come if you are gonna build competence. All right, and that's what we do at BA. That's why earlier I felt strong when someone was bringing up the certificate because honestly, we don't run the course just for the certificate. We run the course because we want everybody to be competent, right? So that's our core value at BA. So yeah, that could happen to you. And if you're looking for resources out there, I don't think there's a lot of resources that can help you get a better understanding of tax resolution or becoming an EA because in the Philippines there's very few EAs. Let's check it out. Right, earlier or last time I checked, there's very few EAs in the Philippines as compared to um, India and other parts of the world. So let me look it up and I'll share with you my screen. And you can Google it yourself too. We have a pretty reliable resource. So if you're one and say, if you can just Google, right? Google, I share my screen. So Google list of enrolled agents. There is a downloadable file in the IRS. So if you click on that link, active enrolled agents. So see, you can download this. This date is, or this list is as of June 29, 2026. It's pretty updated. So where is that list? So these are the list of active enrolled agents before the IRS. Right. So let's filter this by country. So if you filter it first for India, where Sunday is, and a lot of our students as well, there's so many of them. Reason for this is because it's available in the enrolled agent exam is available in India. So you count, that's 5,217, guys. That's a lot, right? But if you look it up, if you look up Philippines, Philippines, how many are in the Philippines? Philippines, only 92, right? Only 92. And this is me from Minoa, Mabini, Bohol. That's me. Right. So there's only need to enroll in the Philippines, you guys. So there's a lot of room for everyone in the practice, and there's not so many of these folks are practicing uh, tax resolution. So look around, contact them, check with them, look them up on LinkedIn or wherever, and see who among them are actually practicing the same practice that I do. Okay, so I bet that there may not be as many that you can get valuable information. Um, so that's a point. And also, I'll show you one last thing. Um, I'll help you get access to this eventually. It's called the SOR. So if you are looking to help prepare tax returns for direct clients, access to the SOR or the mailbox of the IRS can be a really good help because this can help you get transcripts of your taxpayer clients, right? And not everybody has access to this. So what it does is it allows you to sign in to irs.gov, and then of course there's going to be security check. Where is my phone? All right, give me 1 second, guys. I need the security code. Uh, right. So part of what you would learn in the course is, oh, it's not working now. It doesn't allow me every time I share the screen because for security purposes. But what it does is it allows you. Let me check if I can actually sign on to my own personal account. Bear with me 1 second. So every time the screen is shared, the iris can detect that. So it would not let you uh, show the contents. But what it does is when you get access to that, it's called the secured mailbox. You can call the IRS and get the 2848 or a power of attorney signed and fax that over to the agent. The agent can send, in a matter of minutes, the transcript of your client. And that would hold so much authority and can help you close a client, right? When you talk about when you meet a client who's got some issues with the IRS, and you can get that client to sign a 2848 or a power of attorney, that could be an almost that could be a client that you can close as a sale, right? The moment they agree to sign a power of attorney. And a power of attorney is something that is only available to tax lawyer, to CPAs and enrolled agents. I'll show you an example of what a 2848 looks like. So when you're a practitioner before the IRS, you'll have to fill out, or the client will have to fill out a form 2848. Right. So that is how what a 2848 looks like. This is your area here. This is the client's information over here. This is your area here. So that's why you need your CAF, your PTIN, and your information. And down to the second page, you would need your credentials, right? So this is where your credentials are. A for a lawyer, B for a CPA, and C for an enrolled agent. And this one, if you're an enrolled agent, it will be the IRS that will provide you with the designation. If you're a lawyer or a CPA, it will be the state where you are licensed from. And this is your EA number. Once you become an EA, you will have an EA number, and this will be your signature here. I'll show you also to inspire you to really go for it. I'll show you. Maybe I can. I don't know. Let me check. What an enrolled agent certificate actually looks like. No, I don't have it on this computer, but um, once you get a client to sign this form, that is close to, uh, or if not a sale, right? Because not everybody can get a client to sign a 2848. And again, we will cover that in the tax prep course. It's not something that you can lightly learn from a website or from YouTube. There has to be proper foundation. Okay. Um, and so that's the whole point of this presentation, to show you that there is indeed a career in US tax. Even at the comfort of your own home, you can be considered as a US tax practitioner, right? Not necessarily an employee, because again, if you're an employee all your life, you would not have the necessary freedom to do things according to your will, right? And that is why I'm actively promoting US tax, because it has personally allowed me to live a borderless lifestyle, right? Not just the financial freedom, but also freedom to work from anywhere at any time with whatever clients or whichever client I like. There are clients I don't like, I don't renew, or I don't continue to engage, because not some clients are for you, right? So if you want to have that freedom, that ability, I invite you to seriously consider the course, because it's structured, right? It is structured. You're learning straight from me, who is practicing tax preparer, tax reviewer. I do a little bit of strategy, not my favorite thing in the world, but I'm connected with a firm that does wealth management, and alongside with that is tax strategy. And on the side, as a practice, I do tax resolution. So I don't think that there is any other person who's offering this kind of service in the Philippines. This is your chance, and if you're waiting for a second batch, that's probably not going to happen. Okay. I am not certain that it's going to happen next year, because next year we'll be focusing on enrolled agent, because the people who are going to be enrolling in this batch, they will probably be ready to take the enrolled agent as early as next year. Okay, so if you're considering the enrolled agent credential, you're already a tax preparer, you want to learn more. If you're considering a career switch, if you're someone not necessarily having an accounting background, but you want to start over, switch career to a more lucrative profession, this is it for you guys. Okay, so I'm confidently sharing this with you, because again, this is part of my own personal advocacy, right? Um, and if it were me, I would give it to you guys for free. But I'm not working by myself anymore. BA has evolved into a community where we're also having scholars. We have support that will do mentorship with you. So that's why we're asking for a fee. Other than that, you are getting my service actually for free, because I'm not getting any penny from this course. I'm telling you, I'm not being paid for this, but I'm doing it. as part of a personal advocacy. So I don't want to do hard selling. If you guys are still thinking, that's fine. You can continue to explore our materials in the social media platforms that we've shared with you. But if you're serious about your future, don't miss this opportunity. That 10,000, that 15,000 can go a long way. If you divide that for by 4 months, by how many days, that only gonna turns out to a very fractional cost, right? A college tuition could be more. And if we do it, we did the bookkeeping course starting June 1st, and I'm proud of what we did because a lot of non bookkeeping or people who had no accounting background managed to understand what bookkeeping is and even managed to learn QuickBooks in a span of 4 weeks. So that's the approach that we do. We do not approach learning experience very lightly. I'm very cognizant of how we do the learning experience to make sure that everybody understands, even if it's already very complex in terms of terms. There are instances that I go to the very basic just so everybody can understand. So that's our approach. And again, if you guys have questions, because time is already 9:12. We're 12 minutes past the hour of 9. If you have more questions, I'll go through the comments and questions on the chat box. After this, we'll call it a day. Okay. And for those who are still thinking, please don't think too long. You only have 24 hours to get that discounted rate. Other than that, or after that, that link will expire. Let me prove me wrong. After 24 hours, check on that link. If you also see that it's still working, um, go back to me, right? Um, so I'll just read back your comments, guys. All right. Zara, Chris, may form sin po ba yung US pag nag-file ng tax la AFPS? Yes. So the tax filings are done online. So it's like BIR, but it's more sophisticated than BIR. When you file with the BIR, you may not even get a confirmation, which I hate. It happened to me several times. I filed and I didn't get a confirmation, not even a confirmation for the payment that I made. Right? That's terrible. Nothing like that in the US. It's very efficient, guys. IRS, I love it because uh, it's nothing like the BIR that we have. It's so different in a lot of ways. I'm a Philippine CPA, guys. I could practice in the Philippines, but I don't. I probably won't because it's just so much headache over here. Might be unrelated with the scope of the cohort, but is there a portion where it focuses with tax line relationship? Yes. Again, I have already come up with actual videos of discovery calls, and I'm already coming up with videos of actual interviews. And we have a dedicated 2 weeks to refine your communication skills, guys, and how to nail an interview. Because no matter how good you may be, if you cannot communicate, if you cannot nail an interview, you may still lose to someone who's not as good as you but is a good interviewer, right? So we will also polish your com skills, and that's precisely why we're also conducting the course entirely in English, right? So you understand and you can communicate, you can practice. As a matter of fact, in the office where the staff are located, we are practicing EOP, or English only policy. So we do that so that they learn how to practice speaking the language and be more comfortable with it. Because that's how we learn. We do things, we practice, other than listening and watching. All right, so I guess there's no more question, clarification. If you have anything that you would want to say, or I miss your question, send us an email at support@borderlessaccountant.com. We'll be happy to respond to you. Let's go.
For clarification, will borderless accountants be provided
Yes, we are gonna continue because we're a community. We are a community, and now I'm starting to go live on TikTok. So ongoing support, even if the course is already done, because our goal is really also to position you to get employers, or you get your own clients. Okay, so we will continue to support, regardless if the program is already done in November. We will continue to support you because, again, it's just a personal advocacy. I don't just teach because I want to get money from you, or I just want to educate, but also I would really want to show you the way on how you can get your own clients, or position yourself if you want to be an employer of a CPA firm in the US. Right. So to answer your question, Sunday, yes, we will provide continued support, and we have partners in the U.S. Who are also supportive of borderless accountants. They are CPAs in the U.S., and they're young CPAs, very well connected. We're actually looking for talents ourselves in the firm, but it has been so difficult to find experienced tax preparers, because most of the tax preparers, they're already happily employed where they are, at least in the Philippine context. I'm not sure with India and other parts of the world, but as far as Philippines is concerned, there's a shortage of tax preparers. There really is. um, that's coming from someone who's looking for an experienced tax preparer for a firm. And a lot of firms also come to me and ask for referrals, but I couldn't refer anybody because everybody's not available. As a bank teller, what skills will carry over most effectively, and what do you think are the primary knowledge that may apply in U.S. tax prep course? Maybe as a bank teller, one skill that you can carry over to a tax prep is your attention to details. Right? You're probably someone who's very attentive to details because you're counting bills, right? And that's very important in tax preparation. Being detail oriented, having attention to details, accuracy is very, very important, because you can lose a client by making mistake. Um, it's very, yeah, it really is a good opportunity. And again, I hope you don't pass by it. You're here in the webinar for a reason. You're probably curious. You're probably venturing as to what's next in your career. Um, we'll be happy to guide you. And next Saturday, we're going to be doing part three. This is going to be a continuation of our discussion on the career in US tax prep. I'll probably be showing more videos of actual, probably discovery calls, so that you can, again, get a glimpse of what it actually looks like doing client getting. And I'll come up with more. If you got more suggestions on what to cover in next webinar, let us know. We'll be happy to accommodate. And this webinar is also recorded. We'll be sending you recording of this webinar, as well as for those who missed the session. We'll be happy to send you a copy. And tomorrow, next Saturday, the link will be the same link. Okay. So I guess that's all about it for today. I know we covered a lot. I hope that you guys will make up your mind. If not, that's also okay. All right. So thank you guys for today. And since we open up with a prayer, let's also close it with a prayer. This time, let me call on Carm to close today's session. Don't leave, guys. Let's pray. Because all right, sure. So let's hear it from Carm. Carm, take it away.
Okay. Let's pray, guys. Let us put ourselves in the presence of our Lord. Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for this time. Thank you, Lord, for the gift of life that you have given us. And Lord, right now, we thank you for this kind of opportunity. We pray, Lord, that give us wisdom in making decisions in our life that would help us grow, not only in our career, oh God. May you give us the financial freedom that we're praying for. We pray, Lord, that use us as your channel of blessing as well to others, And we thank you, O God. We also pray that you provide us, Lord, with sources of income, Lord, for also that we can enroll in this course. And Lord, right now we just want to glorify you tonight. May you give us a good rest, and we bless your name in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Carm. Thank you guys for joining us tonight, and I hope to see you guys on August 3rd. All right, we'll learn together. You have a good night. Bye for now.
Recording stopped.
All right. Good job, guys.
Very.
Wait, don't end the
Live.
the
Live.
TikTok yet because someone is asking.
Hey, TikTok 17. How many? 11 million left.
40 a while ago.
Oh, that's not bad. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you will join the course so that we'll see more of each other. If you guys are or you're finding the tax prep worthwhile, or you seem interested. Where do we go? It's outside. All right, how many enrollees did we get today?
3.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah, and there's more. Okay, we can end the live 90 and then sending the.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us today. It's been a great session, and I hope again we will see each other on August 3rd. Thank you for joining us, and you have a good night.
Send us an email.
Send us an email at support@borderlessaccountant.com if you have any questions. All right, bye bye.
Someone messaged in the support asking for if it's possible to pay credit through credit card.
Oh yeah, that's great. It is available. I forgot to mention that we have credit card options.
It's fine. We can include it in the email when we send the recording.
Okay. But nobody asked in the chat, right?
Yeah, I think the attendees tonight are more like able to pay
Oh, really?
compared to the first
Yeah.
one. They have a lot of questions about like there is an installment
Yeah.
and something. I think these people are really ready to invest to their
Mm.
career.
No money.
Because they are
No money.
CPAs, they are people already. That's prepared already, but wants to upskill.
Yeah. Guys, we're already hit the target actually, honestly. Oh my god, look at this.
Didn't you say
Plus
again?
3, almost
Very
90.
Oh, really?
And Rosalie,
Kaboka, what the problem with this is if you put a USB. No? If you put a USB,
Or parang go overheat.
no. Because I put a mouse with a USB, it kind of mahal ba ito? Ilan ni? 1,000
Divide.
just to get this fixed ba? Then I just destroyed it again. Bad camera.
Oo.
are you using the yeah. But in TikTok it's good because of the cell phone.
Enroll now.
Don't wait.
Don't wait. Thank you guys, Chris.
Thank you, Lou. Good job again today.
Good night.
I'm going to Central. Matmat is there.
Where?
Central. He wants to
With the bear, yeah?
Oh.